The comments and opinions on the show do not directly reflect the opinions of the Nerd-O-Rama Network as a whole. Thank you. Attention nerds, this show is brought to you by Anime Fix, your one-stop anime shop. Located at 1685 Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you do not live in St. Petersburg, Florida, or near St. Petersburg, Florida, or if you don't live in Florida at all, you can go to their website at animefix.com. They do special orders. They don't just sell anime, they sell manga, they sell body pillows, they sell import toys and Gundam model kits. They have lots of Gundam model kits. They sell anything that your heart desires in the world of Japanese collectibles. They even have some American collectibles. Make sure you check out Anime Fix. They're on Facebook as well, under Anime Fix. AnimeFix.com, your one-stop anime shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
My opinion is like an asshole. It is loud, and it clears rooms.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
What are you, like, spokesperson for Geeks of America or something?
Hey, it's Adam, talking about the things I want to talk about.
Well, if you want my opinion, this whole...
Alright, we are back on the air. This is the Nerd-O-Rama Network presents Adam's Nerd-O-Torials. Yes, that's the show. It's audio. There's no video on this particular show, but this is just one show in a growing mini on the Nerd-O-Rama Network. Make sure you tune in to experience more that we have to offer in the realm of nerddom and nerdery and other nerd-tastic words I'm coming up with. My name is Adam, and like I said, this show is Nerd-O-Torials. This is just my opinion, no one else's. I'm not saying that anyone is right or wrong. This is just how I feel about certain things that I'm going to talk about. First, I'd like to introduce the brand new Nerd-O-Rama Network. We went off the air in March, and now we're coming back. It's been a long, arduous task of getting the studio up and ready, and as soon as we can get a good video feed, we will be video back on the air. We have a new website, Nerd-O-Rama.com. It's very scant right now. It's very small, very intimate, but you can get all of your Nerd-O-Rama information on that show, on that website. Excuse me, I'm a little rusty tonight. Like I said, this is the first time I've been back in months. I'm real excited about it. Let's see. You can reach us at Facebook, on Facebook.com/Nerd-O-Rama Network. The other Nerd-O-Rama Facebook page has been hacked and deleted, so if you're a fan of Nerd-O-Rama and you're a fan of us on Facebook, find us again at Facebook.com/Nerd-O-Rama Network. We're still on Twitter at Nerd_O-Rama. That's nerd, the underline thing. You don't have to type out underscore, but it's Nerd_O-Rama. So let's get back into the swing of things. News and rumors, like how I like to start out the old show. News and rumors. Guardians of the Galaxy news. Vin Diesel has been confirmed to be the voice of Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. And as I mentioned before, if you are on the Facebook page, we should start a drinking game starting today until people have seen the movie. And drink every time Vin Diesel says, "I am Groot." Mainly because that's all Groot does say, and he's probably said it a couple times already. Also, it looks like the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline seems to be following the comic book storyline that's currently in print right now, so that's kind of exciting, because it's actually a pretty good comic book. Glenn Close is also confirmed to be in the movie. I don't know as who. But she said she's doing it just for the paycheck. She doesn't really care much for the movie, so I don't know how I feel about that. But the leaked footage from I guess it was Comic-Con, whatever. They showed like a leaked teaser trailer, and it looked pretty amazing. I'm pretty excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. I've always been a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Back in the late '80s, early '90s. But this is a good story too. Yes, as you can tell, I'm doing this by myself. That's why there's no other banter going on, and I'm slow and stuttering. So it'll get better. I just gotta dust off the old cobwebs, get back to used to talking on the air. After reaching the $500 million mark, World War Z has become Brad Pitt's biggest movie of his career. I did not go see this movie, as I am sick of zombies. I did like the book, which is why I didn't go see this movie. Max Brooks was even known to say that the movie was an adaptation in name only. I've heard good things about the movie. I've heard very little bad things about it, but it is one that I skipped, and I guess I will be watching it on Blu-ray when it comes out, and I'll give you a full review on that. If you are new to Nerd-O-Rama, that's a completely different show. If you're new to Nerd-O-Rama, we have kind of an inside thing going where we would talk about the new Tomorrowland movie and what we expected it to be. If you haven't seen that, go on to our channel on YouTube where the Nerd-O-Rama Network lives and thrives, and check out the last 4 or 5. Check them all out. But the last 4 or 5 episodes, we kept getting into this tangent about Disney's Tomorrowland movie, about Brad Bird's movie. It's Brad Bird who did The Incredibles, and I think he did A Bug's Life. He's a Pixar guy, and he's doing a live-action movie based on the land, Tomorrowland, at Disneyland, Disney World. It's also being written by, what's his name? Damon Lindelof. If I said your name wrong, then I'm sorry, because I do bow down before you as you wrote Star Trek Into Darkness, which I'm so mad that I couldn't get on air before we talk about it, or why this movie was in the theaters, because it was an amazing film. But he's writing the movies, and D23 was this past week. Apparently, it's a big Disney convention or conference or something. And he was talking about. He divulged a little bit more information. And George Clooney and Hugh Laurie are confirmed to be good guy and bad guy in the movie. And the cool thing I saw was was that he was talking about how the actual Tomorrowland, if you go to Tomorrowland between, like, I don't know, I think it's starting in the winter up until they release the movie, there's going to be real life elements revolving around the story that's in the movie, and they're going to be releasing pins for you pin collectors out there that's going to revolve around the movie, and just reveal like secret things that only you would know about if you collected the pins or went to Tomorrowland and stuff. So it's kind of like a cool Disney fan, like multi, like a real life AR, which doesn't make sense because it means alternate reality, or altered reality. I'm really out of it today. Of the upcoming film. So that's really cool. Things I'm not excited about. The remake of Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg's 1982 masterpiece Poltergeist has begun filming, and this does not need to be remade. Of course, I have to eat my words because I was totally against the Evil Dead remake until I saw the movie and fell in love with it, and it sits there in the pantheon of Evil Dead movies, and I will fight for it till the day I die, as very good retelling of, well, it's kind of a retelling of the mix of Evil Dead 1 and 2. So, but Poltergeist is a movie that is near dear to my heart, and I'm going to talk about the movie later, strangely enough. Even more insulting is there are rumors that in 2015 we will see a Jaws remake. Now, I know there are movies out there like Sharknado and all these other movies that have that people are just nuts about sharks. Shark Week was last week, and it was huge, and I still don't understand why. But Jaws remains one of my top 5 favorite films ever. And in fact, I went to the theater last Sunday, because they released it, and about 1,200 people saw it in a movie theater just for one day, and it was an experience. It was uncomfortable because it was an old theater, but overall it was. I got to experience Jaws in the theater, so I'm not happy with the idea of them making a remake in 2015, considering they've made 45 other remakes. You can check out James Rolfe did a top 40 worst shark movies on Cinemassacre.com, and about half of them were just remakes of Jaws. So, they don't need to do this. You hear me out there, Hollywood? Do not do this. Do not do a remake of Jaws. We don't need it. It doesn't need to exist. Oh, God. So, what else? Star Wars is coming along nicely, I guess. They hid everything from D23. I don't know why Disney's being so secretive about Star Wars. It's just what everybody wants to know about. But they did have these crates, and I thought it was funny. At D23 that said that were stamped Orange Harvest, hype beyond imagination, which is a play on what they were calling Return of the Jedi when they were shooting it. Most movies do that. They give them fake names, especially the big ones. And Return of the Jedi was Blue Harvest, horror beyond imagination. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what Disney's doing, but the Rebels animated show is coming along nicely. It's looking good. I can't wait to see more of it. There is a new comic coming out. I believe it starts next month. It's called The Star Wars, based on George Lucas's first draft of the first Star Wars movie. It's pretty wacky. If you've ever read the things like, oh, Lucas decided he wanted to do this and that, and it's pretty much all in there. If you've ever seen the Ralph McQuarrie concept art, with Chewbacca being like this really weird looking creature, and Luke and Obi-Wan are pretty much the same character. Yeah, it's strange, and I'm real excited for this because I really like alternate universes. I love the Star Wars Infinity comics, with the different if things went a different way, how it altered the universe. So I don't know. I'm real excited for this. I'll definitely be reading that. Let's see here. Star Trek news. J.J. Abrams is not returning for Star Trek 3, but the writers are, so we'll still have the kick-ass storyline, just a lot less lens flare. I kid J.J. Abrams. He's one of my favorites, and I didn't even realize the lens flare until someone told me about it, so I kind of feel silly not knowing the inside joke, but I guess that's okay. People who know me, know I'm a ginormous Doctor Who fan, and this past week has been the big news that Peter Capaldi was chosen to replace Matt Smith as the 12th Doctor after Christmas. He will be regenerating at the Christmas special. And people have asked me how I feel about it, and I can't give them an answer. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm getting tired of seeing the new guy and going, oh, he can't replace this guy, he can't replace that guy, because every time they do, I'm proved wrong. I know there are people out there that don't like Matt Smith. I know people out there that for some weird reason, don't like David Tennant. And I know people out there that, for some weird reason, they only like Christopher Eccleston. Everybody has their favorite Doctor. And I do like all the storylines. You can't write Doctor Who for the different Doctors. And it's weird for me to say, but you can't put David Tennant in a Matt Smith story. It doesn't fit. You can't put Matt Smith in a Christopher Eccleston story that they wrote, because he doesn't fit. They're written perfectly for the character. So I guess if I need to have an opinion over the choice, Stephen Moffat knows what he's doing. He may not be the best writer, but he does know what he's doing. He has taken Doctor Who and just thrown it into the stratosphere. So, good on you, Stephen Moffat, and we'll see you. Well, we'll see you for the 50th, and we will see you for the Christmas special. All right, let's get some movie reviews in here. I did a couple movie reviews. It's been 4 or 5 months since we've been on the air, and I'm not going to do 4 or 5 months worth of movie reviews. Quickly over the summer, Star Trek, must see. Evil Dead, must see. Iron Man 3, forget it. People who know how much I hated Dark Knight Rises, I would rather watch that on a continuous loop while reading Twilight than watch Iron Man 3 again. Let's see, what else was there? Man of Steel, unbelievable. Either you love it or you hate it. I absolutely loved it. I haven't hated a thing Zack Snyder's done. Even Sucker Punch. I know people are like, oh, Sucker Punch had nothing to it, but it wasn't supposed to have anything to it. It was just a fun, well put together movie. Watchmen is my number 2 favorite comic book movie. So Zack Snyder, you can do no wrong. I mean, I did have some disagreeing with Man of Steel, but you can't make a perfect movie. You can't make a perfect comic book movie without someone bitching about it. I mean, I could go on and on about that, but the one comic book movie I did want to review, since it's the newest one. Well, aside from Kick-Ass coming out this week, was The Wolverine, starring Hugh Jackman, of course, as Wolverine, the X-Men character. Oh, I really make it sound like that people that tune into the show just don't know anything. Wolverine is an X-Men character who has the ability to heal. He also has claws that come out of his hands, that his entire skeleton's made of adamantium, which is the hardest metal known to man in the Marvel universe. Anyway, Wolverine. I was real excited to see this movie because it looked like it was based off the first Wolverine story, where he went to Japan to escape being a super mutant man, a Limelight X-Men, had some loose ends to tie up, but unfortunately, no. Unlike just like every other X-Men story, aside from the brilliant X2. They take an idea for the character or characters, find some stories that they were involved in, and mash them together into a mishmash of mediocrity. This one has him going to Japan, but instead to escape, he goes there to see an old friend, to see someone who he saved in World War II, and that he remembers right away when he was told about it, which that was one of the red flags I got, because this takes place after X3. He's having dreams about Jean, saying that that he wants to join her in death, blah blah blah. So we learned from X2 that he doesn't have his memories, and as soon as he was told about this guy, he's like, oh yeah, I remember him, and he remembers everything that happened and where he was during Nagasaki, and he finds the area where he saved the guy, and he remembers everything like pinpoint. So that's bad storytelling. But it's a lot less ridiculous than the last Wolverine movie, than Origins. It's better put together. It tries to make you feel, but it fails. It really does. It doesn't have any stupid cameos in it. Like Origins had, that's all it was like a cameo movie, and then him flying into a helicopter off of a motorcycle. It didn't have really that. The fighting was really good. The martial arts were really good in the Wolverine. They introduced Silver Samurai, which I wasn't really happy about the way they did Silver Samurai. They did Viper. They did Viper really well. She looked exactly like Viper. I was real impressed by the end of the movie. I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. But, sadly, it was the best of the Marvel movies. Iron Man used to be a contender, but this last movie, it was just, I don't know. November can't come fast enough for Thor. Hopefully that I like the first Thor, so hopefully then the second one will be as good. Now I'd like to talk. Hang on, let me get a drink. I'd like to talk about The Conjuring. I really want to talk about this movie. If you don't know me, if you haven't tuned in, I'm an enormous horror fan. I was raised on horror. My mom had me watch Poltergeist when I was 4. She took me to see Aliens when I was 4. Actually, I guess I got and Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 5. So I got my start in horror really early. And I haven't looked back since. It's one of my favorite genres. I know it's cliche to say we all like to be scared. I like to clarify that I don't like horror because I like to be scared. I like horror because I like the rush that at that point being scared left me with. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that'll go to a movie and be like, "Oh, that didn't scare me at all. I was a man. I didn't jump at all. See how cool I am?" No, I'm not like that. I actually turn my brain off. I don't like to think in movies. I get sucked in, and I try to enjoy the experience to its fullest. Unfortunately, this movie that was been listed by critics as one of the scariest movies ever. Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, gave this an 86, both critically and viewer. Got an 86%. So reading that, I was kind of excited to see this movie. Not knowing that this was basically not a scary movie. It was not a scary movie. Well, I guess it could be a scary movie if you've never seen the movie Poltergeist, because it's the same movie! Sorry. It just bothered me so much that... Well, it bothers me that they're remaking Poltergeist, but they already did! It's called The Conjuring. Except taking place in the 80s, The Conjuring takes place in the 70s. If you need further proof of this, I want to talk about the parallels in the movie. When I say it's the same movie, it's not the same story, but that's basically the main difference. Let's see. I've got a checklist here. A happy family lives in a house. Check. That's pretty normal for a horror movie. That's pretty normal for any movie. A family lives in a house. Okay. The youngest daughter is the first one affected by this new phenomenon. Check. The family decides to live in the living room and close off the part where the disturbance actually happens. Check. They call in a team of paranormal experts who set up recording equipment and other detection devices all over the house. Check. The disturbance is coming from a wardrobe, not a closet, but it's close enough. Check. The majority of the team leaves before all hell breaks loose. Check. If you haven't figured out this is Poltergeist yet, you should continue watching because you're probably scared. And after that, it turns into every other supernatural film made since, I don't know, 1996. One family member gets possessed, and it's up to the experts to exorcise her, not exorcise her. She doesn't get flabby, she just gets possessed by things. It's not really a scary movie. I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be creepy. I wanted it to be scary. I wanted to see something new. I wanted to get into this movie, and I could not get into it. I don't know why I go see horror movies anymore. I really don't. They're not. Aside from Sinister, which I went in with a really low expectations and was very pleasantly surprised, mainly from the sound. I know it's weird to say, but if you watch Sinister and you're not engulfed by the sound, if you don't have a loud system, or if you have to watch it under low volume, don't watch it. You have to. The movie has to engulf you. It's that kind of movie. I don't want to get on a tangent about Sinister, but I know a lot of people who didn't like the movie who watched it at home, and you have to watch it with. You have to be in the movie. It's one of those holy fuck movies. But The Conjuring, it was just, oh my god, I don't know why he's getting all this critical acclaim. I don't know who they paid off, and I don't know why. I mean, I know people are gonna eat it up. They go see Paranormal Activity movies every single damn year. And I do try to watch them. I haven't watched 4, but I don't know. If you guys want me to, I will. But I don't know. I did jump once in The Conjuring, but it was because the theater got loud. It had nothing to do with being scared. It was just a jump sequence where the woman falls through the house. It wasn't a scary scene. No, but I don't know. I think this film is total garbage. Again, if you haven't seen Poltergeist, it's probably a pretty good movie, but if you have seen Poltergeist, it's garbage. Let's see, alright, I want to review 2 more movies, but first I want to do a new segment. I just came up with it today, called 3-Point Reviews. I'm going to say 3 things about the movie, and take what you will from it, or don't, or just don't listen to me. First, I'm going to do 2 movies. First movie, Despicable Me 2. Cute, funny, not as good as the first one. Next movie, The To-Do List. It's hilarious, raunchy, and it had a great soundtrack. So take what you will of that, and I don't know. That's basically what I want to say about those. Another new segment, since this is becoming the new way to watch independent films, is the VOD reviews, the video on demand reviews. Independent movies, especially like from Magnet Release and Magnolia Pictures, they release on video on demand first. There are 3 movies I really wanted to see, and I got to see 2 of them. I haven't watched. I really want to watch Europa Report, a sci-fi horror film. I'll probably talk about the next episode. But first, these 2 movies, they're very similar. I don't know why they both came out around the same time. I don't know why these are coming out around the same time. I want to talk about Hell Baby and Bad Milo. They're both horror comedies, or comedy horror movies. I don't know which way you want to call them. Horror comedy goes off easily. They're both about birthing an evil creature. Hell Baby, Rob Corddry and Leslie Bibb, I think that's who her name is. They move into a house. Check. Just kidding. And she's pregnant with twins. And the house is evil. There's an evil presence in the house. And it's very cliche. It's very funny. It's written by Thomas Lennon and Robert Ben Grant, who are, if you don't know who they are, they're from MTV's The State, back when MTV was, watchable. They're mainly known now for Reno 911, Junior and Dangle. They write and direct everything that they do. and it is really funny. The tall guy from Key and Peele is in it. I can't remember if he's Key or Peele, so I'm just going to say it like that. Paul Scheer and Rob Hubel are in it. They're hilarious. There's a small scene with Camille Nanjiani. He was really good as a tech support guy. Of course, an Indian being a tech support guy. But it is a really funny movie. Since it's not like out now, these two movies I'm not really going to talk about in detail. I'm just going to tell you what I think about them. If you have a sense of humor and like gory, funny, just gross humor with horror, I mean, it's very horror. Check out Hell Baby. I think it's going to be a big hit once people start seeing it. Like John dies at the end. Bad Milo, on the other hand, is a more lower budget independent film. Also a horror comedy, but instead of about a pregnant couple, Bad Milo is about Ken Marino, also from the state, not from Reno 911, but he is on Children's Hospital. He has an evil creature growing in his ass. Yeah, it starts out as a polyp, and it grows. It gestates in his ass until he births it, and he grows to accept it and try to teach it to be not so evil, but it doesn't work quite as well. It's kind of like a satire, even though Basket Case was kind of a satire of horror movies. It's a satire of Basket Case, and I don't know. I really liked Basket Case as a kid, and I watched it again as an adult. And as terrible as it was, it's still up there in my echelon of favorite horror movies. So, two really funny horror comedies that are coming out at the same time. I don't know why. Roughly by the same people. Bad Milo also has Patrick Warburton in it too. So either you like Reno 911 or the Adult Swim people. That's the two groups doing these movies. So there's that. All right. It's getting. Wow, I've done a half an hour already. I know the show used to be an hour, but it's really hard to do it with just one person, especially just audio, because I used to shoot videos and stuff. And I'm going to do that again once we get this going. We have a movie show coming up. It's called Cinemadness. It's with myself and another host, and all we're going to do is talk about movies, new movies, old movies. Favorite movies, movies we love to hate, movies we hate to hate. Just movies. Cinemadness, coming soon to the Nerd-O-Rama Network. Real quick, I want to talk about some comics. Ever since we went off the air, I've kind of stopped buying comics because it's a black hole because they're so damn good, you want to read them all. Kind of like a paper Pokemon. I haven't been into comics as much, but I'm getting back into them slowly. And I've been reading the big storylines. Like Marvel's, the last big thing Marvel did was Age of Ultron. Which I kind of wanted to read since I found out that Avengers 2 was also going to be called Age of Ultron. So I guess they're doing away with the whole Thanos thing, but whatever. It was a really cool idea. Age of Ultron throws you for a loop and ends with a really cool way of fixing anything that they want to fix. Ripping the space-time continuum in the Marvel universe, they can rearrange things that they it's kind of like Marvel's Flashpoint, basically, except not as good. People who know me know that I would stand by that DC is the superior company. But it's true. Age of Ultron is like the sci-fi version of Flashpoint. It's just quicker. It wasn't as huge as Flashpoint. It wasn't as universe altering as it, but it's basically the same outcome. We'll put it that way. But instead of having the big reboot after the time altering, they're doing it while they do the reboot. I don't know. We'll see what it goes. And it's also connecting to the ongoing Guardians of the Galaxy story, which I could talk about Guardians of the Galaxy constantly. So, moving on to the Superior Company, DC, of course. Right now, the Trinity War is going on, and it's about. Well, it's not. It's about Superman, quote unquote, killing Dr. Light. You see it happen. You don't know why it happened. I mean, you know why it happened, but it's less of a whodunit and more like a why did this happen? I don't know. But it does use my favorite part of the DC universe, which is magic. Characters like Shazam and Zatanna and Phantom Stranger and Deadman and John Constantine. It's really cool. It's a really cool story. I didn't think it was going to be that great since they named it Trinity War, and I thought it would have to do with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman like Trinity did, and I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan, so I kind of stayed away from it until I heard, some good things about it, so I'm giving it a chance, and I really like it. Also, I caught up on Green Lantern after the whole battle with the First Lantern. That's really cool. I was kind of sad to see Jeff Johns leave. But Van Jansen and Robert Venditti, if I got that name wrong, forgive me, they're doing a pretty good job. There's the core is pretty much gone. There's new recruits showing up, which I don't know. That's kind of goofy, but I don't know. With Hal Jordan in charge of a dead core, with also the Guardians missing and the rings going on and off all the time, it could be some good storytelling. I haven't been reading any of the other Green Lantern or any of the other Lantern stories, mainly because of money constraints. Sorry, but they're doing a good job so far, and I'm excited to see how it keeps going. Also on the horizon for DC, I'm excited for the Year Zero issues. It's kind of cool to see that they did that last year with the Zero issues, where they kind of did their origins, but I guess the Year Zero is like going deeper into their origin stories, so that'll be cool. I'm real excited for the DC Universe wide Forever Evil storyline. You can't go wrong with villains. The Salvation Run thing back during Infinite Crisis was really cool. My guilty pleasure book, The Suicide Squad, is still one of my favorite stories. So I don't know. It seems to be going to be a good year for comic books this year. So far, and it all starts pretty soon. The Year Zero, I think, starts next week or this week, and Forever Evil is the first weekend of September, so it's probably just going to be the next storyline after the Year Zero stuff. But that's about it. It was a very loose episode for the first episode, just hanging in there. Reminiscing, talking about stuff, new stuff, talking about old stuff, having the same feelings come back, but this time I'm doing it on my own. We are no longer part of the Talkwad Network. Like I said, we are our own network now. We are the Nerd-O-Rama Network. Again, Nerd-O-Rama.com. Check us out. Or Facebook. Remember, if you are a Facebook fan and you don't see us post anymore, it's because the page was hacked and deleted. You can find us at facebook.com/Nerd-O-Rama Network now. Nerd-O-Rama Network. You don't have to add the now. I just added that. Also on Twitter at Nerd_O-Rama. that also connects to our Facebook. And the Nerd-O-Rama Network is live and running on our YouTube station. Our YouTube station. We have the last few cons on there. We went to SuperCon in Miami. Had a really good time there. We did the Tampa Bay Comic-Con. The stuff from that is up and running on the website. I apologize for anyone who did an interview with us at the John Levesque Pirate Days back in June. We experienced bad technical difficulties with the camera, and everything came out like a James Cameron movie. Everything was just blue, and it just looked horrible. So instead of trying to make it look like we fixed it, because the best I could do was just make people look dark blue instead of regular blue, we just decided not to post the video. And we do apologize for those who we talked to and interviewed. We did have a great time. Wiggy had a great time. He'll be back on the show. Hopefully we can get Jason back on the show, and we'll get some new people to come and talk. Again, this is my opinion. If you don't like it, don't listen. If you do like it, listen. If you don't like it and want to hear what I say still, you can still listen. Tell your friends. Let's get this going big time. The Nerd-O-Rama Network is on. It's live, and I will see you next time.